Test 1, 2.
This is Cape Coral Talk Radio. And now, broadcasting live from Hooked Island Grill in the heart of downtown Cape Coral, here are the hosts of Cape Coral Talk Radio, Kim and Ed Ryan.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you all for coming to Hooked Island Grill tonight. We appreciate you all being here. And for those of you that are in the back that have no idea what's going on, we do an interview show here every Friday night. And tonight we have two guests that are running for the city council that we're going to interview. And if you guys are here in the front, can you hear okay? Is the sound okay in the front for everybody? We appreciate you guys helping us out here. Nice big crowd at Hooked Island Grill tonight. And my wife is continuously looking at grandbaby pictures. That's all she does. She could care less about the show. She just wants to look at the grandson.
No, I care about the show. I care about the people.
Yeah.
You not so much. You kind of have fallen in the way back, but
Yeah.
you know.
I have had the worst pain in my lower back like for the last 2 weeks.
Welcome to my life for the last 30 years.
And somebody said it was like sciatica. And isn't that like an old person's thing? Isn't that what happens to old people? Sciatica?
Well, I think that's why we put that.
All right, I'll stop complaining. What's going on here? So,
I
all
hear
right,
ya.
we're right in everybody's way here.
Yeah,
So,
you'll be fine.
so before we introduce Ray, by the way, everybody, today is Ray Mule's birthday. Big round of applause for Ray.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Ray. How old are you, man? How old are you? You're not that old. We're not ready for you yet. We're not ready for you yet. This will be Ray's third appearance on the show. I did want to, talk real quick about my friend Matt DeVitt. I don't know if anybody has watched what's been going on with Matt. He's no longer with Wink. And I just have to say that the comments that you guys out there make on Wink's Facebook page, it doesn't matter about what the story is or what's going on. Every single comment underneath that story is about Matt. And it's the funniest. You guys come up with the funniest things about how much you miss Matt and where's Matt and the whole thing. And I did talk to Matt. We're kind of friends, so I did talk to him. And he is laying low for a little while. So we thought we were going to have him on our show on Sunday, but he wants to lay low for a little while. I'm sure something will happen where he pops back up, and we wish him the best of luck. So big hand for Matt. He did a great job for Wink for 10 years. So. All right.
I don't know. Yeah. It worries me going when you get into some weather because he was always the one that people look to get them through the storm.
He's like when Jim Cantori is standing in somebody's community, you knew it's always bad. When Matt rolled up his sleeves, you knew something was about to happen.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I did want to mention being that when we do the beach show, I always promote events that are going here in Cape Coral. If you're not busy tomorrow, there is an event called the Putt and Pub on Fort Myers Beach, and it's a really fun event where people go around dressed up in different costumes and go to different bars and restaurants, and it's like a fake kind of what do you call it, miniature golf thing?
Mini golf, yeah.
It's a big fundraiser on Fort Myers Beach for all the.
But the outfits, the costumes are are very creative, and of course, everyone's enjoying beverages and having a really good time.
Yes. And
I know we don't have. Somebody else asked if we had a team. We're going to have to get a team together next year. Honestly, they filled up all their teams.
They have 100 teams
really
of golfers.
Pretty quick.
Yeah, and 12 locations, and they start
100
early.
Teams?
100 teams, yeah.
And 4 on a team, so right there's quite a few people.
And
but it is a lot of fun.
And the grand finale is at Margaritaville on the Terrace, so we help out emceeing.
I don't know how they're going to make it to all those stops and still have an intact liver, because it's going to be a long day.
By the way, if you've never been to Margaritaville, you should go check it out. It is open to the public. You can go on the terrace and enjoy the sunset and have a great meal up there. So if you're looking for something to do tomorrow, there's always stuff to do in Cape Coral. You know, we've got so many events coming up. The Tour de Cape is next week, and Kim is going to be running in the 5K. Is anybody else going to be running in the 5K? Not a single person in this crowd is running a 5K.
You know how many races I have signed up for? 0. You know how many I'm going to be running? Like 5.
And I was hoping to ride in the Tour de Cape, but with my sciatica and the whole thing, and and then the mayor's show is on Sunday. But anyway.
I want to say it's been a while, but I don't think we've done the show since the art festival.
Right,
that was
right.
great.
Yeah, that's an amazing event.
That thing was. Did anyone get to go to the art festival down here? The Rotary put on. It was humongous.
They say
I don't know. You guys
140,000.
must have been the only people, because there was like 200,000 people that were over there. It was really, like I said, if you needed something, you could find it there. And the art was, it was everything. They had everything.
All right. So just as Ray's coming up, a big hand for Ray Mule, everybody.
I feel like you need one of those shepherd's hooks, and you can pull people up.
We next Friday show, Rachel Kaduk will be here. She's going to be our guest next Friday. So arrive early if you'd like to come see that show. And also our next show with the mayor is not this Monday, but a week from Monday. We do it every 2 weeks, Mondays with the mayor. That's a virtual show, so you have to watch that on Facebook
Pop out.
and on YouTube. So what's going on, Ray? How you doing?
I'm doing great. Doing fantastic. It's been it was a great holiday season. I was back north. We got some big news, as I know Kim's been very excited. You've been very excited about the grandbaby, so we got some great news too. My daughter is expecting.
Wow! Congratulations.
So we're very excited about that. First grandchild, first one. So we're waiting for that. We're excited.
Very nice. Whoops, sorry.
Wow! I step away for 2 minutes and I'm off. Do they know the gender yet?
They don't. They might.
But they haven't told
you.
They
haven't told anybody. But also, I don't know. My daughter doesn't really want to know. To be honest, I don't either.
Yeah.
I kind of like the old days of the surprise.
Yeah, the surprise. Yeah.
So it'll be fun, but we're very excited about it.
When is the due date?
June.
All right.
Yeah.
So that'll be good. The baby will be born before the election, so you can carry the baby around during the election, get a little,
Perfect.
There you go.
more votes that way. So first of all, how much money? Oh, you're running for which district is
District 6.
District 6, which now has 3 people. All right. I don't know why you would applaud for District 6. So you all live in District 6? Is that what that is? All right. I'm just
and again, another point about that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Another point about that a lot of people don't seem to realize, but we represent at large. So it doesn't matter what district you're in. If you're in Cape Coral and you're voting, you can vote for District 6. So keep that in mind.
Right. And right now, as of today, there are 3 candidates. Annette is also running, and Liza announced last week. So you have 3 running in that district. Are you expecting more?
I only know of the 3 at the moment.
What do you hear? What's the scuttlebutt?
That's all I've got right now. I focus on my campaign. I don't worry about anybody else who's coming in or who's running. I know Liza just came in. Wish her good luck. I had heard at the time, scuttlebutt-wise, that there was a candidate who was supposed to be moving into District 6 just so they can run for a seat. And I assume that's who it is. But we still haven't been able to confirm if she's actually living there or when she may or may not get there.
I think, I don't know where the lines are drawn, but I was told that she did move into the district recently. I don't know if it was to run for. Boy, that would seem like a lot of expense. That would seem like a lot of expense just to move, sell your house, buy another house.
How long do you have to be in the district to run?
Well, you need to be in the district by qualifying time,
which is May.
Yes. again, some of that, I think the reason why so many individuals want to know about it, one sitting right in front of me here, is that people want to know that their representative or potential representative has resided in the district and really, really knows it well. They know the issues, they've lived it, they know the people. And I think people have also in District 6 felt like they haven't had any kind of representation, or at least anyone that they could pick up the phone and call, email, text, and actually get a response. Our current representative, I'm sorry, he has not filled that gap for the people. And that's one of the reasons I'm running, because most of the people in the area, when they need help with something, they would come to me. And then I would go to the people that I knew in council. And I said, why am I playing this game working from the outside? I needed to get on the inside and really support the people in our district. We have a unique set of circumstances up there, unique things. It's very different than Southeast or Southwest. So you want someone who really knows what's going on up there, someone who can advocate for or against certain things, even though we are still representing everybody at large.
And District 6 is now represented by who?
Keith Long.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And he is not running for re-election. He is
at the moment, he's not put his name in the hat for re-election. So
what's going on here? You took out a file that says classified on it.
This is my usual, when I have important information, I always like to make sure that I keep it handy. Anyway, on this topic, because I had a feeling it would come up, and many people have asked me, and Ray just asked me again, do you know if Liza has moved into the district, where she lives, and if not, when? So I said, you know what? I've heard scuttlebutt. I don't know, but I decided to do what I had to do, which was we all have to register at Lee County, okay? And we need to provide proof of residence, and we need to provide our address. So I said, you know what? Rather than hearsay from anybody else, I went to the same site that I had to go to when I registered and take a look and see what's what. So when I went there.
When did you go there?
Why did I go there?
No, when?
I went there as late as today, about 3:00 today. And here's what I found, just so it's on the record since we're talking about it. So if you want to take a look at the different candidates, you have the three of them, right? You have myself, you have Liza, you have Annette Warren, okay? If you'll notice, Annette Warren and myself have our addresses, our home addresses, and all the details. You go look at Liza, and her home address is listed as East Park Avenue in Tallahassee. So I said, gee, that's strange. Why Tallahassee? It must be a political, consultant or somebody that she's using. So I said, let me go look at the forms that were actually signed, that we actually have to put our names to. And, I thought I actually found some of the missing Epstein files, because these things are more redacted than anything I've seen since. I've never seen any of these forms filled out with black boxes over the home address. And I'm sorry, something ain't right there. So I wanted to bring that up since we're on the topic. And I know some say
Can I just take a look
it's
at that?
happened. Some say it hasn't in terms of her moving. But, I went to the source.
So
if you go look me up, you'll see the details.
So let me ask you this, Ray. And by the way, Liza will be on the show in 2 weeks.
Excellent.
On the 30th. So
Excellent. You can ask her.
She'll have a chance to respond to that.
Yeah.
If she's not living in, I don't know whether she is or isn't. You said as long as you're living in the district by May? Is that the way it goes?
I believe it's more than just living there. I believe you have to at least have resided there for 30 days prior,
30
I believe
days.
is the definition.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, and that part, look, as long as she's qualified, that's fine. The concern with us also is, I don't know if you remember here in Cape Coral, 2 elections ago,
We heard about
we
it.
had the problem where we had a candidate who said they lived in a particular district. They ran, they won. After the fact, when it was proven that she didn't actually live there, she was removed by the governor.
Yep.
And she's charged with felony charges.
Yeah.
So we don't want to do that again. We can't do that again. That's just not good for the city. So bottom line, people want to know. Look, for me, it doesn't matter to me. If she's qualified, she runs, that's fine with me. But people want to know. No one wants to go through that again. But this here begs the question.
Yeah. All right. You guys are typing in the chat box that we're spreading wrong information. Well, I'm sure when Liza comes on, she'll be able to clarify exactly where she lives.
Sure.
And so it's out there now, and she'll be able to tell us where she lives or doesn't live. So
yep.
the first question I wanted to ask you was
I just have to say, when you first walked up with that, I had visions of like a Halliburton case and it, on your arm with handcuffs, and a special lock.
So when you file for office, how do you prove to the supervisor of elections that
your address?
Yeah. What do you show?
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to remember now, but I showed whatever we needed to. I brought my my license. I had brought my passport. I had brought a bill or my mortgage. I brought several pieces of identification to show that it was current and it was accurate.
So, okay. So in the case of the lady, what was the lady's name that got caught? What was her name? I'm drawing a blank.
Patty Cummings.
Yeah, when Patty Cummings, did she have falsified documents where she said, we don't need to go into that.
Yeah, I don't want to go into that. I don't know. All I know is I don't think they were as strict with the way they were verifying.
National Enquirer?
No, I'm just trying to figure out if you go in and with information that shows where you live.
Yeah, I believe
it should be easy to verify. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, I believe it's been changed. The rules have been changed since then. So I'm not so worried about that. But this still begs the question. I still don't know how you do this and show documentation. So it's just strange. That's all.
Yeah. So,
but it's been a hot topic online. I know you've seen it on your site. A lot of questions.
Yeah. And she'll be able to clear it up, I guess.
Sure.
In 2 weeks or before, maybe online she can clear it up. I don't know. How do you clear it up? I mean, you have to show like a driver's license or something or whatever. But so how much money have you raised so far for your campaign?
The money for my campaign so far, I have a little over $40,000. $40,000 of that is directly out of my pocket.
Holy moly!
And just some odds and ends. 1,000 from one individual and 100 here, 100 there. Representatives, not representatives, but supporters.
Yeah.
My philosophy is, I'm running for the people. I'm not looking to compromise my positions and my votes on anything. I mean, other than logical debate, but no one's going to drive my positions. No one's going to drive my votes. My votes are going to be what I feel is the right thing for the people. Okay, when you have somebody who's looking to raise a ton of money from unions or from other organizations,
but you need
you
money.
Can't get honest.
It's not
votes.
like you're not going to take money. It's not like you're going to fund the whole thing yourself. You're open to it, but you're not seeking out. Okay.
Yeah, that's
You've
correct.
made an investment in yourself.
I've made an investment in myself. And anything else will be ancillary, but none of it will be enough to change my position because, like I said, I have enough to carry me through. And if I don't, I can fix that too.
So,
I'm just saying, I want to do this and I want to do it right.
Yeah.
Edith is asking if you're a Democrat. I don't think there's any Democrats in the entire county of Lee County. Are there any Democrats?
No, I think there are some.
Oh, there are
but,
a few.
Yeah.
I mean,
There can be. Again, this is a nonpartisan race. So we're
but there's a primary, right?
There's a primary, but the primary is really the top two vote getters.
Oh, is that what happens?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have three right now. So the top two, no matter what, no matter what party.
Yes.
I got you. But are you a Republican or a Democrat?
What's that?
Are you a Republican or a Democrat?
I'm trying to think. I think it's funny. I can't say it in this instance, I believe. Yes, I am a Republican, a proud Republican.
Now, why would you be afraid to say that? Like, why would you hesitate?
The nonpartisan rules.
Oh, I see.
Do not allow you, if you're doing, for example, when I do a lot of stuff online, a lot of it is advertisement. You could even interpret some of the fact that if you're doing it online, and you're paying for Facebook or whatever, it could be considered advertisement. If you do it inappropriately, they can block your campaign, and we don't want to have that happen.
Too many
so
rules.
I try to be very careful about it. I actually think I have a very clear perspective on national elections that way, but on local elections, I actually like the idea of nonpartisan races, because the bottom line is it removes all of that. And what it deals with is the issues, and that's really what it's all about. And so I'm fine with that.
Yeah. So speaking of your representative in District 6, did you see the clip of what he said at the council meeting the other night about things being done or decisions being made and then being made again when there's one-on-ones with Mike and some of the members? What did you make of that? First of all, do you believe what he said is true?
Well, let's put it this way. I think I'm not sure about what's true and is not true. I mean, we have to follow the sunshine laws.
Yeah, but
okay?
that wasn't a violation of. I do want to make one thing clear. and people were getting on our page making comments, that's not a violation of the Sunshine Law. The Sunshine Law is when 2 or 3 or whatever elected officials meet privately and they talk about things that are going to come before the council. The mayor, the council members, they could meet. They can't meet together with the city manager and talk about issues, but one can meet 100 times a week with the city manager. And, I don't know about changing decisions and things like that. Mike made it pretty clear that the decision was made by a previous council and they were just kind of following through with that. At least I thought he did in his presentation. But that's not a violation of the Sunshine Law. For you guys that think that is, it's not.
No, and you're correct. All I wanted to do was make the point that we have to be conscious of the Sunshine Law. So I don't want anybody to interpret that as him saying anybody violated the Sunshine Laws. What you just described, I mean, that's acceptable. I mean, part of that is doing business on a regular basis. You're going to have conversations behind the scenes with non-elected officials. We have the city manager and the public works director and others who are involved in conversations. And sometimes things will change based on those conversations. But this is not, multiple representatives colluding behind the scenes. That's not happening.
But
do you think things have changed when he was talking about, first it was like this and now it's like that? Were you able to follow what he was saying to know that that is true or not true?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. This has been talked about now for quite a while. If you want to talk about the yacht club overall, we can certainly talk about that.
Sure.
The original idea or the original thought on the yacht club was people would have liked to see the damages originally fixed and, kept it to a reasonable price to be able to do that. Things then changed after the fact to say, all right, it's got to come down. So now let's put up a new yacht club. Now to be at a $250, $300 million project by the time all is in and overruns, et cetera, the pier wasn't included and all that.
Right.
That alone is insanity. The last thing we should be doing in this city right now is taking on an optional project like that at those kind of numbers. And that's the bottom line. We've got so many important things to do, especially on an infrastructure basis, that doing that is silly. The bottom line is there are certain things, and I did a video on this not too long ago, a couple of things that don't need to happen. We do not need to spend $300 million on a yacht club, and we do not need to do anything crazy with the golf course. What we should be doing, thank you.
Hold your applause to the end, please. Just
keep the applause coming. Don't worry about it.
I'm kidding.
But no, seriously, we don't need it right now. What I would like to see is, when it comes to the yacht club, I would like to see the beach completely finished. I want to see, the boathouse is going out. That's separate, but there is a restaurant there with the boathouse. I want to see the seawalls repaired, the docks repaired. We don't need a multi-story parking garage. We don't need a venue of that sort. What we could do is maybe put a smaller venue, a gathering place similar to what it used to be. But the other thing people have to remember is the yacht club used to be the hub of the city. When this started, that was the place where the city began, and they used to also use that, the Rosen brothers, to draw in new clients. So that's all changed. I think doing anything like that right now is insane. We could always readdress that or look at it when we actually have money. One of the other things this week, and I'm sorry if I'm going long.
You're filibustering here.
One of the
wait, don't get off the yacht club though.
But one of the other things, when you look at the yacht club, and I'm not, one of the other things when we look at the yacht club, right? So one of the presentations not too long ago on the yacht club was the discussion about, well, we can do this. How are we going to do this? We certainly don't have the money to do it. So we need to borrow the money, right? And the idea being that at some point, the yacht club is going to generate enough revenue and we'll be in good shape. But in the meantime, in order to build it, we have to go into debt. So now what are we going to do with the debt? Well, you've heard things like, well, let's just increase the PST, the public service tax, from the current 7% to the 10% cap. And we could use that to help, fund the debt. The funny thing is, yesterday at the meeting, and I know you heard this too, we got an update or a presentation from Mark Mason, just laying out the different examples of what the legislative bills would potentially be in terms of tax reduction. And even there, again, we have to look at how do we offset that if that happens. And one of the other things, what did they come back to again? Well, we can raise the PST to 10%, and we can raise the FSA from 81% to 100%. How many times are we going to keep dipping into the same thing? We can't afford it. and we
So-
should not even try.
So can we get a few questions in here before the end of the show? I just was
I'm
wondering
sorry. I
if,
will consider it.
So
I apologize.
on the yacht club, what should be built there? Let's say you're elected. What do you want to see built there, and how much money do you want to spend on it?
What I would like to see built there, I want to see the beach, as perfect as that could be for the kids.
Mhm.
I would like to see some type of a community center, one that maybe we could even build that at some point we can annex into whatever gets built later, should we decide that it's smart to do that. I want to see the seawalls fixed and the docks fixed. And I do not want to see a multi-story garage there. We don't need it under this scenario. We should do something a lot simpler.
So-
And I don't think we should be going anywhere, in my opinion. I don't know if it's feasible, but I'd say, if we could keep it under 50, just to pick a number,
Under 50
50
million.
million.
just to pick a number, I'd love to say 20.
But you think,
But I don't know the number.
and you
Right.
think that all that work that you just described is going to be able to be done in $50 million or less?
I don't know, but I'm saying that I'd like to stick as close to that number. Let's just put it this way. I don't want to see anything close to, 225, 250, 300 million. That's insane. We don't have the money. We can't afford it. And people don't want that.
So you would suggest doing something now and then planning, for the future, like have the plan that you're not going to use the space in a way that it can't be developed later when the people might be here to support that. Because
That's exactly my thought. Yeah. And in the meantime, that other area, again, we can have a play area. We can have a picnic area. We can have some nice basic amenities without spending a fortune, planning for the future. But doing that, and just like the golf course, right? Leave the golf course as open space. Maybe put some restrooms, maybe clean up the paths. Obviously, just clean up the brush and everything else. Leave it alone for now. What's the harm? It's not hurting anybody if the golf course sat there for another 5 years with nothing done to it.
Well, you
There's
got-
absolutely
as long as
zero
it was
impact.
cleaned up.
Yeah,
And,
cleaned up 100%. But other than that, there is zero impact of having it sit there until
So
we
a
actually
green
have money.
space, leaving it a green space.
Green space for now,
were you
but with the opportunity to develop further later.
were you surprised at all that the RFIs have not even been put out yet for the yacht club?
The bottom line is, in my opinion,
That was a yes or no.
am I surprised? Not necessarily. Not necessarily.
Why?
I don't know. Everything seems to move slowly here, and there's still a lot of debate, and who knows what conversations are being had in the background that we don't know about.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, I'm not surprised about that. I think it'll be interesting to see what an RFI, brings in terms of what we could do. But unless the numbers are substantially different than what they are now, we should absolutely not be considering that. Period. In my estimation.
The other thing, the longer that the process goes on, the more the price goes up. Yeah, so, getting something with the advantage of looking down the road for something else later seems like reasonable.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. What I'd say is let's revise what the RFI is once again, looking for that kind of a result. Look, here's my other thing on this, right? I do not think this city should be in the business of being in business, okay? What I think is we need to stop looking at things like they love to throw out P3s, public-private partnerships. Here's my thinking on it, okay? Why don't we do something like, what if we do a land lease, okay? Let's become a tenant, become a landlord, okay? Let's lease out the property, have somebody come in and let them build something on their own dime that they want to build. And if they think it's a good place and they think it's a good opportunity for revenue generation, fantastic for us too, because that business is going to be coming in. Okay, we'll have
Taxes from
rent
that,
being
yeah.
generated.
Mhm.
And you could, I don't know, we'd have to look at terms on a land lease
All right.
lengthwise and all that, but why not? I heard it mentioned the other day about possibly selling the property. I do not think we should
All
be
right.
selling
That was,
the
the guy-
That was
that was
my
the guy
next
I asked.
question,
Rachel
yeah.
suggested selling the property.
And again,
but that-
brainstorming is fine. That was fine
Yeah.
to throw it out there, but I do not think that's the way to go.
All right. Is everybody familiar with Redfish Point? Does everybody know, has heard of that? That's a bunch of wetlands that there's a project coming up. That's the short version of it. How would you vote on the Redfish Point project right now?
Well, again, Redfish is another one of those where the current owners of the property have the ability to build things there. They want to develop beyond that, and they want to get some zoning changes to be able to move forward. I would not like to see that at Redfish Point. I think Redfish Point, again, is one of those areas I'd like to see left alone. It is first of all, it's a beautiful area to be. I like the fact that from Rotary Park, you have access to that. I think it's a good buffer for the south end of the Cape in terms of storms and surge and all of that. I'm not a big fan of moving forward with further development than that. So it's not taking away the rights of the owner. The owner has the rights. The owner has the same rights they had before. The owner can still build, I guess, what they were pre-approved to build, but not what they're looking to build going forward.
Go on.
Nope, that was
So the Lee County Metropolitan Planning Organization is leaning toward at least putting on the table 1% sales surtax to help with the road projects. And of course, you guys got a big road project out here that won't be done before I die, and that's Burnt Store Road. Widening that, it almost costs as much as the yacht club now to widen Burnt Store
and
Road.
the bridges too.
Yeah, it is.
What are your thoughts on that sales tax surtax?
Well, again, this is something that the county should have been funding all along. This is something that we pay. What do you call it? Our tolls into the bucket there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think I'm not looking to put another tax on our people. I think this is something that they have the responsibility and they should live up to it. I think if we have to, as we go forward, find a way to participate in it, if we can use some of the funding for the impact fees that we've gathered to use to get that done, it's an abomination. Well, here's the other thing. In one sense, it would be positive, because one of the things that we really need in the city is we need our tax ratables up. We need commercial ratables up. We're not going to get by on 8% commercial ratables. We need more. So what we need to do is we need to open up other areas where we can enable new businesses to come in. In particular, the Burnt Store Corridor, which we call BURST, which is a whole other zoning area we want to enact. But once we can get that road done and opened, and we can get the utilities there, then we open up the door for bringing in more commercial. So the way I look at it is, for us to pitch in some going forward, that would be fine. Do I want to see another tax? Not necessarily. Do I want to look at whether or not we can use some of our the new mobility fees in a way? I would have to look at the rules on that, but I think that would be worthwhile.
So let me try and get an answer from you. If you were on the Lee County board and it came up, how would you vote? Yes or no?
If I was on the Lee County board, if I was on the Lee County board, I'd probably vote yes.
To get it on the ballot.
To get it on the ballot.
And then if you went into the voting booth and you had to vote for it, how would you vote for it?
I would vote no.
Okay. All right.
I
That's
thought
very
you were
confusing.
saying, well, no, at first I thought you were saying if you had to vote for it. If I had to vote for it, if it came up before our council, I would have said no.
Yeah, which
Right.
But
which you won't.
in this case, right, under those scenarios, yes and no.
All right. Dear, got a question?
No, I mean, we talked about this, that the mobility fees, like, why should the people that are already here pay if the planning hasn't been put in place for the roads and the infrastructure to be put in?
Yeah, and just some history to that. She was yelling and screaming at me this morning about the sales surtax story, because she's so hell-bent on blaming people for not planning right. And it's like, that may be true, but there's nothing you can do about it now. These roads are going to take 30 years. If you looked at that Lee County road project, they say it's going to take 30 years, and this surtax apparently gets them down to 12. But still, I mean, what are you going to do? You can't stop people from coming. They want to live here, and you can't keep up with the infrastructure.
That's
what do you, I mean, what do you do?
Yeah.
You can't tell them not to come.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely. No, infrastructure. We've got to get our infrastructure right. County roads, again, it's different. We have to cooperate and work with the county themselves. But, certainly within the city, we have to deal with our infrastructure. As a matter of fact, on that, well, we don't need to.
Yeah. So since you were on the first time when we had the debate here, we've had other candidates come on, and they've really taken Mike to the woodshed, the city manager. I mean, salary wise, and I mean, Shadrack went all crazy on him. And so give us your opinion. Like, you might get elected. He will be the city manager if you do get elected. What is your thought on how he's doing as the city manager?
Sure. No, I think Mike does an excellent job. You have to remember, when you come down to it, Mike runs the entire city.
Yeah, he's the CEO.
Obviously, the mayor council need to keep him, and everyone who works for him in check, need to give the okay, need to give the direction, need to give the approvals on funding and spending. So the bottom line is there's a lot, but we're a city that's growing so fast. Again, we're the 7th largest city. We've got 225,000 people now, looking to grow to 450. It's huge. He's got a big job. A big job comes with a big salary sometimes, and that's just the way it is. But I do think he's doing a very good job. I do think there's a lot of things that people disagree with. But I also think that it's city council's responsibility, and not the mayor in particular, the entire city council, to stand strong and to give the right direction to the city manager and his staff. And that's really what it comes down to. So I think he does a good job. I think he's very competent, but he needs the right direction, and that's going to be up to us.
Do you think the salary is in the right spot for him? And what do you think about the salaries for council folks?
Well, I've said before, for council at this point, it's considered a part-time job. I'm not running for the salary. I'm retired. The current salary is fine with me. However, on a going forward basis, I think if we really want to think about looking to the future, we need to raise the salary for the future, assuming that the requirement is that it's a full-time job, so that we can attract younger people who want to and that are qualified to run and make this their full-time position. But for now, I do not want to see an increase in the salaries.
Yours.
As far as Mike's salary, I think that's based on other similar cities, but I think a factor that's important here is that we're not looking at an established city here, okay? We're looking at a city it's all new, it's all growing, it's all changing. If you were just running a city and just keeping it maintained, it's way too much. The salary would be way too much. Given the challenges we have right now, it's a reasonable salary. Look, you also have to remember my background. I come from a financial background. I mean, when someone works hard and they're very competent, the salaries were commensurate, but that also equated to the amount of work and responsibilities that went with it. So that's my perspective.
You said that the council has to give the city manager the right direction. Are the council members, in your opinion, giving the city manager the right direction?
Yeah, I'm not saying they're giving them the wrong direction, but I do think that city council needs to stand a lot firmer a lot of times when it comes to, let's talk about budgeting, right? I think there's got to be a lot more pushback. Things can't just be an immediate yes when it comes to funding, especially the big projects. And that's where, unless the city council approves the budget, some of that stuff's not going anywhere. So, that's critical, and that's our job as council members.
Another thing that has been coming up, thanks to your district representative, is the strong mayor versus the strong city manager, so to speak. What's your position on that? Should the voters decide whether or not you have a strong mayor, or should it stay the way it is?
Yeah, I think it should stay the way it is. I'm not a fan of the strong mayor. I think that, as I said the last time, the entire council, and that includes the mayor, as one of 8 votes, need to be the ones to drive the direction of the city. I think we need a very competent, professional city manager, especially because of the complexities of this city while it develops, in order to move this forward. So I don't think we need a strong mayor. I think we need people to understand that the mayor is one of 8, and everything doesn't fall on him either. In terms of responsibility and accountability necessarily. It falls on the entire council. But the council needs to be strong enough to say to the city manager, here's what we want you to do, and or no, this is what we're going to approve in terms of financing. Otherwise, go back, cut this, cut that, bring it down, bring it back to us, and we'll take another look. You need that kind of direction. But I do not think that it should be a strong mayor at this point.
What?
You hear a lot of criticism that the town council or that the city council don't listen to people. Do you think that's a fair criticism? And what would you do differently?
Well, first of all,
you think so.
Yeah. First of all, I would bring citizens' input back to the beginning of the meeting. I got to be honest with you. Even yesterday on Wednesday at the Cal meeting, I was frustrated because I stayed as long as I could, and then I had to leave before I wanted to make my comments. Anyway, I think it should be brought back to the beginning of the meeting. I like the 3-minute limits. The problem is there are a lot of people who get up there, related or unrelated topic-wise, and they just want to get out there and bloviate and blame and cause all kinds of issues as it relates to the city. It goes way off topic. I do not like that. Some of the citizens committees I think might be worth looking at again going forward. I've been taking a closer look at that and debating, but that's still open to me. The issue is a lot of the people that, in particular, certain people will hear an answer on a particular topic and they disagree with it. And their disagreement is then called corruption or not listening.
Yeah.
And I totally disagree with that.
Yeah, I think I posted about 2 weeks ago that if you have any corruption, please send it over to me or text it to me or email it to me. And nobody sent me anything. Well, one guy sent me something about read a book or something like that. And I don't know what book it was, and then I said, well, send me the corruption so that I can look it up. And nobody, I mean, if you don't like somebody on the council, that's one thing. That's fair. You don't have to like who's on the council, but
right?
when you accuse them of something that's illegal like that, you have to be able to back that up. So
absolutely, that shouldn't be allowed. As a matter of fact, in my opinion, I got to be honest with you, I'd be talking to the city attorney about some of these issues. Throwing out a lot of this stuff unsubstantiated is nonsense.
Yeah.
If it's substantiated, that's a different story. Don't get me wrong.
So
accountability is important.
Well, and I think that, you're going to have constituents that you're going to listen to, that you agree with, that you don't agree with. And then for the ones that are, if it's a reasonable person, it sort of falls on the council person or the representative to educate and explain, look, this is why, rather than, because I think that would reduce some friction for some individuals because it's a miscommunication.
Yes, I do think that if we can eliminate some of the, bloviating and blaming and that kind of noise, I do think that, and I would support having the 3-minute comment period with then a response period right after that. So whether it's an individual council person or someone who wants to come back and answer the question or ask a follow-up or anything like that, we should allow that in real time, because I do think that would help.
Yeah.
But there's got to be some limitations on the timing too. So
folks,
we got to work that out.
If you've never had a chance to look on Facebook or anything or YouTube, Cape Coral doesn't compare to some cities in this country where people get up there and they are so nasty at the elected officials. I mean, the curse words, and one guy moons the council every time he goes up there. And I don't know how these things got in my feed, but I love them. I mean, they're hilarious. And the people up there just take it. And sometimes you have to feel bad for them because they're volunteering. Some of them are volunteering to be up there. And these people, it's all for a quick video. At least those were anyway. And so, I mean, there have been some folks that have come up and been positive to the council and thanked them. And there have been other people that have come up and had really serious issues. Like they have issues with a zoning thing or a code violation. And then you compare them up with somebody from staff, which makes it a lot easier that way when you know exactly what's going on. So before we let you go, when was the last time you took a wife out for dinner? Stop
bloviating. I'm going to use, I haven't you heard that word in a long time.
When was the last time you took your wife out for dinner?
We went out last week, actually.
Yeah, where'd you go?
To Stone's Throw, across the way there with some friends.
Yeah.
And we celebrated my birthday and another friend. It was nice. We enjoyed it.
Why?
Today's your actual birthday?
Today's my actual birthday, right. Like I said, another year older, but another year wiser. That's the most important part.
How old are you, by the way?
64.
64. Did you guys see that there's like 30 people that are over 80 years old in Congress, and half of them are running, more than half of them are running for Congress again? It's like, holy moly, man.
Term limits.
There needs to be an age limit.
Age limits.
Yeah, age limits.
Wow. And so why should people vote for Ray Mule? Why?
Well, again, my objective here is it's all about the people, okay? And the reason I got into this campaign is literally because I hear the people. I see the issues that they have that are not getting addressed, in particular where I am in District 6, but broadly across the city. And I have the time. I have the background. Like I said, my background is in finance and technology and real estate, and I can apply all of that to what we're doing here. And, I'm self-funded, so I'm not worried about there's not going to be any influence in terms of how I vote and and what I think about things, you're going to get the straight scoop. But it's about the people, and I want to see the city be fantastic. I moved here to retire. I live here. We love it, and I want to see it be the best it can be.
Great. And do you have an event coming up that people should know about, or a website?
What do we have coming up? We'll be scheduling something shortly. Not yet.
Okay.
I'm looking to my brain trust to see
I know,
if I'm
right?
forgetting
All right.
something.
All
And
right.
you have a website up?
Of course, rayforcape.com. You can go out there. You can see all my information, my background, my platform. But more importantly, go to my Facebook page, Ray Mule for Cape Coral District 6. And out there is where you're going to get all the real-time stuff. You'll see my videos. You'll see my commercial. You'll see all of my back and forth, all the questions and responses.
And your address.
And my address, absolutely. Actually, the address, if you go to lee.vote, you'll clearly see my address
All
up
right.
there.
All right.
And your middle name. Well, how do you pronounce your middle name?
Salvatore.
Because
All
I
right.
was like, I wasn't sure if it had a little E or,
That's just Salvatore.
Salvatore.
Mule is the last name. That's the
Big
accent.
hand for Ray Mule, everybody.
All right, thank
Thanks,
you.
Ray. Congratulations.
Thank you.
On your birthday. And let me shut that off right there.
Are you reading an ad? Or?
No ads. I did want to come on down, Rich. I did want to say that Ray is running with Annette and Liza, and so right now there are 3 people running for District 6, which is Keith Long's seat. And right now, big hand for a candidate for mayor, Rich Leone. Rich, come on down. How are you?
Hey, how
Always
are you?
snazzily dressed. There you go. Very nice.
Yes, blue is the color. You had on blue.
Now they can. There you
Can
go.
everybody hear me?
Yes.
Woo!
Wow. I got to turn you down a little bit. So, how's your campaign going? What's the latest, and how much how much money you've raised for your campaign?
Yeah, it's going really well. The campaign we're kicking off February 5th for
Okay.
those in the audience and in TV. We're gonna have the campaign at Duffy's Sports Bar and Grill, February 5th, 5:30 to 7:30. So it's gonna be a lot of fun.
And Duffy's is somewhere around here.
Yeah, right down the road.
Okay. All right. February 5th. All right. So, did you live in the right district, by the way? Let's just get that out of the way.
Yes.
You have an address in the right district? there?
So as mayor, you have to live in the city of Cape Coral.
Okay.
That's the district. So
you don't live in Fort Myers?
I don't live
but
in
you-
Fort Myers. I might camp, other places, but
Yeah.
no, I live here in the Cape.
So, where do you live?
Northwest. I live
Okay.
over by Coral Oaks.
Okay. So,
Nice area. We were
Yeah.
over there for their run.
yeah.
It was very
give
nice.
give folks a quick history of you've been on the council before.
2013 and 2017, I was on council.
2013 to 2017. Then you ran again, and what happened? Did you run again?
I ran again. My friend Jennifer Nelson Lastra, she was able to take over, and she did a great job those years that she was
Okay.
in office.
Gotcha. So when did you watch the meeting? Were you in attendance at the meeting this week, the Cal meeting, and
Last week?
this week?
Oh, Wednesday?
Yeah.
I'm halfway through.
Okay,
I
yeah,
haven't-
it's like 9-hour meeting.
Yeah.
It was. I took a nap in the middle of it when they were at lunch. So when you see what's going on with the yacht club, first of all, what did you think of what Keith said?
I didn't get to that part yet.
Okay.
But what I can tell you with the yacht club, it's really a shame that, when we look at what's happened and what's going on and what we could potentially do, the city of Cape Coral cannot and should not spend $300, $200 million, $100 million on that property. We need to be able, and I get, we talk about we're going to be a 400,000 person city, but you know what? We're not 400,000 right now. We can take baby steps. We can do this in phases. We can stage it out to be able to have a great area for the residents right now. Get that pier built, get that beach built, have some kind of building for us to be down there to be able to help things out with the community. If people want to go in there, have fun, do whatever weddings, etc. But right now, having a big facility like that, trying to sell the property would be just huge mistakes. We only have very few areas in the city of Cape Coral where we're on the water like that. And we need to retain that property. We need to be able to have it open and free access for everybody.
So under 100 million. Where would your budget be? Budgets are a big topic.
Right, they are. And at the end of the day, I don't know what the budget will be. For me, it's starting out small. Let's go ahead. Let's make sure we have a really nice beach there. Let's get that marina taken care of. Let's get the boathouse taken care of, the pier, and then let's look at the next stage. What are we going to do? We don't need to build a $300 million facility. We can build a $10 million facility just as easy. The city, the city staff tried to do this back in the early 2000s with the fire, or excuse me, the police department headquarters. They put it on the ballot. I think it was like $120 million for the ballot, got overwhelmingly crushed by the people. And they end up coming back doing like a $25-30 million building, which is what's currently now there. So there are ways to do it. The ability is there to do it. We just need to be able to work with the community, sit down, talk with everybody, see what we really, really want, and then go ahead and plan that out.
By the way, I said this for Ray. Rich is running. There's 4 people currently running for mayor. So you guys probably already know this. Kara Rogers, Mayor Gunter is running again, and Richard Erickson filed to run. So there are now 4 people running. Do you know Mr. Erickson at all?
I do not. And I'm sure there'll be probably 8 to 10 people by the time it's
No way.
said
I
and
think
done.
so. Wow.
8 to 10 people
every time. Yeah.
running
So-
for mayor.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Absolutely.
That's a lot.
Now, have you run for mayor before, or is
No.
this your okay?
Yeah.
This will be my first time.
So you back to the yacht club for a second. You said you can do the same thing with 10 million that you can do for 300 million, but I don't
Not
think
the
that.
same
No,
thing.
no, we phase
scale
it out.
back.
Scale back, phase it out.
Yeah.
So I'm sure eventually there's going to be a $300 million facility
I
there,
see.
but it doesn't need to be today, and it doesn't need to be 5 years from now. That's like when you're a 400,000 population and need a booming and area down there. It's just not today.
So on the record, how much, if you were on the council now, are you willing to spend in taxpayer
I
dollars
just asked him.
at the yacht club? 10 million? Is that they're already 6 million, 5 or 6 million in?
Yeah. So what we need to do is
So
focus
for
on
4 million, you're going to get a porta potty.
Well, and it depends.
Might be
There's
a nice one though.
and there's opportunities. We see all the time, especially at the state level, giving grants and funding, and the national level. We really need to focus on that. Try to get some extra funding in there. Rebuild our beach. Look at tourism development tax funding and get some money in there. Get that taken care of. Again, let's phase it out.
Right.
We don't need to do the whole 225 million right away. But let's create a plan that can be phased out over time and have a great beach down there first and foremost.
So let me just try this one more time. So if the vote came up and you were on the council in November, how much would you be okay approving at this point in time? Because you're not really giving Mike any direction by saying what you said. So if you're trying to give him direction, how much would you spend?
Right. I mean, you're looking, anything under 50 million, really what you're doing is, because again, we're creating a beach. We're making sure that it's a very good facility there, making sure that the pier is rebuilt, all this other stuff. That way we can have facility down there to be able, people can enjoy, go down there, watch the sunset, take their dog.
Yeah.
The day before my dog passed away, I actually took my dog down there, watched the sunset from there.
Yeah.
Because it's a beautiful area. And this is
So
what people
50,
want.
so 50 million, around 50 million.
I
is what
don't
you're
know
doing.
the value. I really don't. Sure. I wouldn't. It depends what that,
What you
if-
would get for 50 million.
Right. What I have no idea what I'd get for 50 million, So, and I think that's the important
would
thing
get a
to
lot
think about,
cheaper.
Would I spend a lot of money? If it costs $110 million to build a beach, then we got to, hey, what's going on? Why does it cost that much money to build a beach?
Mhm.
So whatever that cost is, I don't know what that cost would be, but, we need to make sure that we plan it out and phase it out.
Okay. So the Redfish Point project is coming up before the P&Z committee. If you were on the,
I really hope council declines this. I think it needs to stay preserved land. It needs to be wild, protected. What I really like to see is the county come in, help purchase that property, and
2020?
start working with us and, having like a 6-mile slough property. We connected to the Rotary Park. We have boardwalks out there. I don't know if you've ever been out there. I'm a big camper, hiker. I go out there all the time. I take my hammock out there, sit in the trees. It's a beautiful area. It doesn't need to be developed.
Yeah. Okay. So no, I haven't been out there. I got this sciatica thing. I can't really go hike as much as I used to when I was
I
a
don't know
kid.
if I don't know. Maybe the county would do that.
You
got
know,
to get them to pay for your
Yeah.
roads first.
well, there's such a good opportunity when we talk with the county, and I think that's especially as mayor, as council, we need to be developing that relationship, working with them. There's no reason why we can't implement, like if the county came in and helped us with this project in $20 million. Okay, fine. Let's look at Burnt Store, which is a huge topic.
That was the next,
Maybe
yeah.
the city can put in $20 million. We can switch out. We did this in 2016 with Pelican and the 24th and Littleton. The county and the city worked together on projects. They did something for us. We did something for them. So there's no reason why we can't do anything like that with the county.
So the golf course has been a big topic for discussion. I know Jennifer's got a town hall meeting coming up where she's going to focus on that. What do you want to see done over there?
You know, I whatever the residents want. So I think that's important. We need to be able to sit down with all the residents, take our time in developing a plan to make sure and ensure that we have a wonderful facility down there. For me, as much as preserve land as you can make it, hiking paths, walking trails, things where I can take my dog and just spend 100 plus acres to go ahead and
So
really
green,
relax.
you wanted to leave
enjoy.
it as green space.
Yeah, green space all the way.
Just clean up the asbestos or whatever the hell's in the turf there, and there's something that needs to be cleaned up, right? And then keep it green space, right? What if somebody wanted to build a hotel there?
We really need to see if the city needs a hotel there. We need to work with the residents around that area and really talk as a community. Is it something that, one, the city needs to lead a project in? Do we really need to have a hotel there on the property? We have plenty of other hotels around here. Are they full? Are they not? I don't have those answers. But I think if we want to put a hotel there, if that's what the community wants, we really need to have that direction and that information to be able to do that.
Well, the TDC came out with numbers last week or 2 weeks ago, and it said that Cape Coral's at 100% of having their hotel rooms back. I think it was 800 or something like that. It was a low number when you compare it to Sanibel and Fort Myers Beach, who aren't at 100% yet. Is that enough? Do you don't think?
Well, okay,
do you think we need more hotels in Cape Coral?
I don't know. And that's up for the private sector to decide if we need hotels or not. The big thing in Cape Coral, and the reason why you don't see hotels going all crazy for us, is we have Airbnbs. We have so many Airbnbs and third-party companies like that where people can come in instead of using a hotel and do that. I go all the time. I go around and travel, and I always look for an Airbnb first. I think they're better value. You're more personal, and we have a ton of those in inventory here in Cape Coral. And I think that's why you see, not many hotels being as quickly to build as other areas.
Okay, so I wanted to. We've had you on before, and since that time, Mike has taken a lot of criticism from people running for office. I wanted to get your take on, without other candidates here, one-on-one, how you think Mike is doing, and do you think he's worth the money he's getting paid, the city manager?
Yeah, Mike Ilchism's definitely worth the money. I think there needs to be, a little criticism, communication, a better communication between not only, council, mayor, and the community, but also city staff. And that's what the other last week. And if anybody has not seen it, Councilmember Kaduk asked a series of questions on the budget. Mm-hmm. And that dialogue is exactly what is missing from this council and the previous council. Having those questions in public, being able to answer. We spent a lot of time when I was on council just having those questions. I might know the answer, but it's for the public benefit to be able to have those answered publicly and allow people to work on and be like, oh, okay, that's why we're doing it. We have to work together. It isn't council, city staff working on there. The top of the pyramid is the people. So we need to be able to sit down with the people, be able to have that discussion, work with them arm in arm. We can't lead them from the front. We need to lead side by side and have that conversation. So
you said he's worth the salary he's getting paid, just better communication with the public.
Yeah, well, and I mean, there's some other things, I think Mike does an amazing job. I think what you have the unique with Mike is he grew up in this city.
For sure.
Mm-hmm. He's grown up in the city staff. He knows what's going on. He knows how to do it. I mean, if anybody ever had a question about Mike, ask for a meeting and spend 10 minutes with him. And I think you'll reverse your answer pretty quickly.
Now, what do you think about council salaries? We talk about this a lot. Do you feel like it's at the appropriate level? Does it need to go up? Should it be listed as full-time?
It was a little difficult for me since I was the chairperson for the commission. But now that I can publicly start talking about it and not have to worry about my fellow commissioners, council level is fine. It doesn't need to be any more pay. It doesn't need anything like that. I think we have. I started council in 2013 and we were getting paid $17,000. So and it was no big deal. It's not why I'm in running for office. It's not why I was in office. It's to help the city. It's to work with the residents and make sure we leave a better place for tomorrow.
Do you think it's the same job from 17 to now in terms of time and what you have to put into it?
Yeah, you know what? It's funny because I hear some of them like, oh, we didn't know. I'm like, I knew in 2013. I knew in 2017. It's really the same time commitment. We were sitting on the boards and everything. And it's really funny. I was working at CVS. I was working 40-hour weeks at CVS, and I was working 40 hours at City Hall. And it was funny because like I would be people replying emails till like 2 a.m. They're like, "You're still up?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm up. We're working." So it's really not. It's a lot, but a work to do. Your office work. You're sitting around reading a lot, talking with residents. It's really good. The salary isn't a problem.
So, Rich, tell us what a couple of rapid fire questions here. Tell everybody what you think this town council does best. City council.
What a great question. You always want to pick at the negatives and try to hit it, and then you're asking me what their best is.
You were all ready
No,
to fire off.
I was ready. You know, I think this council has done a much better job than the past, and really trying to communicate with residents, talking with them, especially after the election. You know, and doing that. So I think that's where that council is. This council is doing a good job.
And so, what do you say then to the people who say they don't listen?
Right.
Well, here you got people doing town hall meetings, you know,
Yeah.
whether or not they listen to what your opinion is, you know, the question isn't whether they're listening, it's whether they agree or disagree with you. At the end of the day, you know, you might love me, you might think I'm the best candidate, things like that, but we're not always going to agree 100% of the time. We're two different people. But am I working with you? Am I talking with you? Are we working on developing solutions? And that's what's important. We can disagree, and as long as we go out and have a beer after, I'm good with it.
What do you think the council isn't doing as effectively?
I'm going to say.
Are you going to plead the fifth?
I'm going to plead the fifth. No, and this is just coming from the background of my experience being on council. We need to change the budget process and what we do, and I think that's key. You know, when you look at Rachel and those questions, at the end of the time, she's like, we just need more meetings to sit down and discuss and talk about what exactly these different reports mean and why are they different and how are they different. Most of the time, it's because they're captured on a certain day, not specifically a year. But when you look at that information, it isn't more about how council perceives it. It's about how the public perceives it. What is the public doing? How are we answering questions for the public? They need to be informed just as much as a council member needs to be informed.
All right. So I wrote a story about the surtax, the sales surtax that the county is. I don't want to say promoting because they're not really promoting it. It's a discussion. The MPO is going to discuss it on Friday. It doesn't matter if they vote for it or not vote for it. The county commission has to. 3 people on the county commission have to approve this 1% surtax, and then it has to go on a referendum. It's a whole long process. So what's your stance on that?
So I actually sit on the Citizens Advisory Committee for the MPO. We had our meeting last week, and we discussed this in great detail. We, at the end of the day, it would be a good thing for it to go on the ballot. I don't think it's going to be on the ballot this year. I don't think the county commissioners are going to put it on the ballot this year. I think it's going to wait until, because, I mean, again, we're going to have a lot on the ballot. We got the city initiatives. We have the county initiatives. We have the state initiatives that we're going to have to vote on. Putting this on it is going to get lost. I think the county commissioners realize that, and I don't think they're going to put it on the ballot. If they do, at the end of the day, my biggest question is, we as a municipality in Cape Coral, do we get our fair share? And that's important. And the second thing is, I would make sure, and I said this at our MPO meeting, is that there needs to be a separate committee that has oversight over this tax.
There would be.
Like the school board.
There would be. And by the way, if you saw the chart, Cape Coral would get the largest chunk out of that money. So
yes.
If you saw that chart, and by the way, I forgot what I was going to say now about that.
You haven't done that here on a Friday night very often.
So
hold on to your hat, people. It happens often.
Yeah. So if it goes, Kevin said he might bring it up at a future county board meeting, but he doesn't think it'll pass either because it's an election year and 3 people are running for election and they don't like to raise taxes. So speaking of that,
you were doing your rapid fire questions.
I know. Speaking of that, the city council did talk a lot about what would happen if property taxes went away. What is some of your a solution or two that you have in your mind brewing to make up for that money?
I think it starts with how I want to redo the budget process, where it leads from the citizens, and we talk about it at each district when I get elected, and then we work with the city staff and making sure that we're funding the appropriate amount of money. But when you look at if that comes through, and at the end of the day, it is what it is. the cities are still going to get taxes. They're still going to get funding from sources. Now, are we going to have to cut some things to really tighten things up for a little bit? Yes, absolutely. Is that necessarily a bad thing? No. Let's see what, and it's not just Cape Coral. It's all the cities across and counties across the state. What are they spending on? What's the extra money that they're looking at? And the state sees like, hey, maybe they are spending too much money, and this is their opportunity to fix that.
So why do you think you'll be a better mayor than Mayor Gunter is right now?
Listen, I think we have our own leadership styles. For me, I'm focused on really the importance of working with the community, having that empathy, talking out there from day one, getting the town halls set up, making sure that there's communication between myself, the people, and city staff, working hard and just really diving into the details.
Okay, but when you get past the empathy part and you're in office, what makes you think that you're going to be a better mayor up on the dais there and communicating with Mike than he is? Obviously, you think you are because you wouldn't be running if you didn't think you would.
Well, I think, you look at the mayor currently. He's done the past 9 years, has served the city with good intentions. Nobody ever runs for office and say, I'm going to hurt my city. He's a good heart, good person, just wanting to do a little bit different than I am, a little bit more conservative, I feel. We're going to be looking at the budget. We're going to be looking at detail.
Who's more conservative?
Myself. I feel.
Okay.
I look at my history when I was on council, just the time and working with the budget, trying to cut the budget, working hard to legislate. It's not a strong mayor position. A lot of people talk about that strong mayor. It's not. It's a body. It's a legislative body. We got to be able to work together with our council member and really lead that way.
So go ahead. Sorry.
I think I know your answer to this, but what would you do about citizens input and citizens committees?
So absolutely. I know it's funny because the citizen committees need to come back. I think we need to do that. Now we can tweak a little bit, maybe see what concerns were. I know, boo, terrible.
You're so weird about that.
I just feel like you elect
That's
officials.
a great idea.
You elect officials and then let them do their job, and you vote them out if they don't do their job.
A chance to participate.
I actually have
more.
I have one regret when I was on council. We had a police review committee board. They would see action when there was an incident with the police and a citizen, and then we ended up getting rid of that board.
Yeah.
And whether it was needed or not, I just felt that having that extra layer was good for the community. You could be like, hey, listen, even all these third parties, they said, oh, it's a good thing. When you have the citizens review it and it comes from citizens and say, hey, you know what? That was a good.
You're thinking about bringing that back?
I'm sorry.
You thinking about bringing that back?
No.
Yeah.
I think we need to focus on the budget review committee. That needs to come back. We need to look at, as much as our city manager loves ad hoc committees, and that for me is not in the sunshine. We need to have that public committee. We need to have those public meetings. Yeah. Does it cost money to do it? Yeah, of course it does. We're going to have recording minutes, seeing things like that. But that is an important goal of the city, because we're communicating to the residents. We're letting them know what is happening with our city. Right now, they don't have that option because it's not public record.
Does anybody in the audience have a question for Rich? I don't want my wife to monopolize the whole show like she has been.
The Bears, Bear here.
So, how do you feel about Bimini East, the project going on there?
You know what? I was. This is my. Where I look at my views, and when we talk about what Bimini East is and what it is, first of all, I was on the council that brought that project forward with Marnie Sawicki, our mayor. She got that from the National League of Cities, and we worked hard to support that. My concern is that government is too involved. We didn't need to buy that property. We could have worked with the developers to be able to get the roads out, to rezone it without the purchase. We don't need to be involved in it like that. I think it went too far. I told council that at the time. So for me, it's just as much as government can get out of the way, get out of the way. That's been our biggest fault when you talk about like code enforcement, when you talk about the permitting, when you talk about getting businesses drawn in here. We keep throwing money at businesses, trying to say, hey, we'll give you $1 million, we'll give you $2 million, come on and build. We have 230,000 residents that need services. We're only 8% commercial. We need these things. So they're going to come because they're going to make a lot of money. You look at a lot of the businesses on Pine Island Road, they are the top tier of their their chains.
Yeah.
Because we have so many people that need these services.
But by the way, the napkin that was handed to me, the third candidate, there are 3 out of the 4 candidates for mayor here in the audience today. Rich is in the back there. Rich, could you stand up? We don't have time to interview you today, but we will set up a time where you come on. So that's Rich right there. He's the other candidate that filed the other day. Rich, we'll get with you to set up a time to do an interview. So right now there's 4, but Rich seems to think there's going to be like a dozen or so. So why should people vote for you for mayor?
Listen, I think when you have an opportunity, someone who's grown up in this community, someone who's worked in this community, who knows the downfalls, who knows the ups, and who really has spent the time, the effort, the money, just really developing this city. I hope people see that different perspective of myself compared to my other candidates and my friends, and really just I'm ready to work with the people and fight for the people and do what needs to be done at City Hall.
If you had to vote tomorrow, who would you vote for in District 6?
You know what the best thing about being an American citizen is our votes are private.
Yeah. But don't you want to have this out in the sunshine? Everything should be out in the sunshine, don't you think?
Not
Rich?
your vote. Your vote's your personal.
Are you are you working full time? So
Oh yeah.
So you'll be working and working.
Absolutely.
So you're going back to a 16-hour workday if you get elected?
I work for Kiwanis, the foundation of Cape Coral.
Cool.
An amazing company. We've been able to raise $1 million this year. We've given over $500 million to the community. I'm so proud to be part of that organization. And my board, Marilyn Stout, who's one of my bosses, is here. So it's just a wonderful opportunity that they in turn know what my plans are, and when I win, they'll be able to work with me and develop both that.
Notice he said when I win.
I
He's very
know.
confident
He's
there.
confidence.
So where do you shop for these nice looking blazers like that?
This is all Kiwanis.
It is. You can-
yes,
it's
because
the
we had
Kiwanis.
this conversation.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
had
that's
what
right,
was
that's
that
right.
jacket you had on over here
Well,
that one
hilarious.
night? Yeah.
Most of my outfits are from Kiwanis. I just go get them tailored
Nice.
and yeah.
Nice. Big hand for Rich running for mayor, everybody. Thanks for coming,
Thank you,
man. We'll
everybody.
see you soon. All right.
That's budget friendly right there.
Yeah, no kidding. Whoa. All right.
That's all right.
We shut that off. So thanks to Ray and thanks to Rich. And just so you all know, next Friday, Rachel Kaduk will be on the show. In 2 weeks, we have Liza coming on. Joe, I'm going to screw up his last name, but Joe is coming on. And did Jennifer leave? I know Jennifer's got a town hall coming up. And then a week from Monday is our Mondays with the mayor. So if you can tune into that show is done remotely. It's on our Facebook and YouTube. If you could do us a favor and just share our Facebook pages with folks so that we can continue to grow. And we really thank you all for coming out to Hooked Island Grill tonight. And we will see you next Friday right here at Hooked Island Grill with Rachel Kaduk. Thanks and have a great weekend, everybody. Bye-bye.